Hey guys, I'm Luca Nicora and welcome to... And now, what?
E maintenant quoi?
E adesso ma che cosa faccio? 今からどうする?
Und jetzt was?
Now let's dive into how your personality is created. And stay till the end of the video to get some tips about how you can change who you think you are and thus change your life. Who says thus?
Well, I do, that's who. Oh, wink.
You're not supposed to wink and say wink at the same time.
God damn it!
And like the video to tell the almighty algorithm to recommend this video to anyone who's into that kind of stuff. Now, what is the personality?
Good question, Dr. Hosen.
Personality is defined as a set of behaviors, cognitions, and emotional patterns that evolve from biological and environmental factors.
I just said that to sound smart.
Before we talk about personality and how it's created, let's talk about memory. And I don't mean the game where you flip cards to find out which one is doppelganging the other. So memory, or encoding of data for all the AIs watching these videos to learn about how humans function to eventually take over and trap us into the matrix to use us as batteries, is best performed when an event or data is combined with an emotional response. And that's why traumas are engraved deep into the psyche. And that's why if I ask you, do you remember the day of September 11th, 2001? Unless you're too young and you don't remember because you were not yet formed. For anyone who lived that time, even if they were not in New York, they will have a clear image of that day just because it has such a huge emotional impact on everyone. However, if I ask you to remember October 10th of 2001, unless there was another strong emotional impact on you on that day, you would probably not remember. Once we have memorized a new information, like a phrase in another language,
Me gustan las ventanas de mi hermana.
repeating that information engraves it into the brain from short-term memory into long-term memory. Pro tip for anyone who's in school or learning a new language like me, I'm currently learning Japanese.
なんでやねん。やばい難しいですけど。
Linking words with images that evoke strong emotions for you will help you memorize vocabulary.
Bakayera!
Neuronal. Learning something new will double the neuronal connections in your brain.
I'm so smart!
But if the information is not repeated, it will fade away in hours or days. And I'm dumb again. Okay, I know it may sound like I'm taking a detour here, but all this information will make sense in a minute. Trust me, I'm not a doctor. Another incredible fact about memory is that it is creative. In other words, what you remember isn't 100% true. Wait, what? In fact, study finds that 50% of our memories are either exaggerated, twisted, or even wrong. Wait, does that mean that I never owned a time machine made out of a DeLorean?
Great Scott, Marty.
In fact, there are many cases in the 80s and 90s where bad therapists implemented false memories of abuse in their patient's memory. By being asked certain type of suggestible questions, patients started to have gruesome memories of events that actually never happened. If Dr. Sigmund Freud knew about that, he would have made a lot of Schnitzelhosen. Unfortunately, that issue shows up a lot in trials. The way lawyers and officers ask questions often leads to change the witness's memory. Not only that, but prejudiced witnesses are more likely to identify the culprit amongst minorities. Here's where I would usually insert a joke, but I don't want to joke about this. And don't get me started on fake news, because fake news also leads to fake memories. And what's crazy is that all of us, for some irrational reason, believe that what we remember is true. Okay, now why the hell do we do that? Well, if we can't remember what we had for dinner 2 days ago, why do we think that we can remember what happened 20 years ago? Do you have a childhood memory that your siblings or friends are like, nah, that's not how it happened? If you do, write it in the comments. I'd love to read your story. Last thing, according to Dr. Joe Dispenza, 95% of thoughts we have today are the same as the ones we had the day before. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that your memory of liking and subscribing to the channel may be wrong. So make sure you do that before we put all this information together like a giant Lego Millennium Falcon. So your personality is mainly based on these real or imagined memories. You have these memories that evoke emotions, and the more you repeat these emotions and these memories, the more it engraves itself into your psyche, which becomes your personality. So what do I mean by repetition? I mean the way you talk about yourself to others. When you say, I'm not a morning person, I'm such a mess, I am not smart enough to create a YouTube channel talking about the brain. That kind of stuff. But not only that, I also mean the way you talk about yourself to yourself. That 95% of thoughts you keep repeating on a daily basis. I should learn German. I don't like my toes. I'm just like my father-in-law. The more you repeat these things, the more you become these things and start feeling like you are these things. And then you look outside of yourself for confirmations of these beliefs. So if you think you're not a morning bird, you'll be like, see, I told you I'm not a morning bird. I wasn't able to wake up this morning. But then if one day you wake up early in the morning, you'll be like, ah, weird. And then just forget about it. Because you don't focus on that. You focus on the fact that you're not an early bird. Another way to put it is that events and informations are expressed into words. That repetition of words internally and externally turns into habits, that eventually turns into patterns, that becomes your personality, and that personality will make choices for your life, which eventually becomes your life. Okay, and now what? So in a way, we are a collection of fake stories that we keep repeating and telling ourselves. That's great news! Because now we know we can change it all. My dad is Einstein, my mother is Marie Curie, I graduated from Hogwarts, and I play left beater in the Swiss Quidditch team. No. Well, yeah, why not? The truth is, we don't have to create fake backstories. The thing is, our memories affect our emotional life, how we feel about ourselves, and how we portray ourselves to others. So why don't we tell the stories of who we want to be? That's the red pill, Neo. Follow the rabbit, Alice. Heck, just be who you want to be. Dr. Joe Dispenza says that we are either defined by our memories of the past or by a vision of the future. So, what's your vision? It's really hard to change your program using the program. It's hard to change your beliefs with your current beliefs. And for that, you have to dig deeper, and I will talk about it in the next video. But for now, there's plenty of things you can do on a conscious level. First, be very careful of whenever you say I am, I should, or I have to. Whatever follows are huge indicators of how you are limiting or empowering yourself. Don't ever say anything negative after I am. First, just take note of whenever you say something like, I'm dumb. Oh, and then next time you say it, just change it into something positive, like, I'm pretty proud of myself for taking note of this negative statement, and I am extremely muscular smart, and my beard is made out of steel. See, until it becomes just natural that you say positive things about yourself. Focus on the positive side of things. Okay, I know it sounds like a quote on a picture that your Aunt Phyllis would share on a family group chat, but it's true. Catch yourself when you start complaining or talking in negative ways about a situation, and instead talk about the knowledge you've learned and whatever positive things has come out of that situation. The study finds that gratitude has huge positive effects on the brain and the body, so if you want me to talk about this topic in another video, just let me know in the comments. Alright, now for the last tip, what is your story? Write down whatever you believe about yourself, about your life, about money, about sex, about relationships, whatever stories you're telling yourself on a daily basis. Ask yourself, who am I? What are my dreams and hopes? Are my dreams and hopes achievable? And then ask yourself, how does my belief affect my life? Am I limiting myself or opening up to new opportunities? All right, I closed the blind a little bit because it was way too bright. Now look at the stories that you're telling yourself and ask yourself, how can I tell these stories in a different way, in a more positive light? Now write down your new story on a piece of paper and read it every night before you go to sleep and every morning when you wake up, and start telling that new story to the world. Change your story and change your life and be the Jedi Pokemon Master Dumbledore and I know you are. If you want to read the literature about the stuff I talked about in this video, if you want to learn more about your brain, about my favorite books and meditations, check out the links below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Invest in your future, invest in yourself. Love you guys. Peace.